Good afternoon. Can I hear a shout, please? Okay, I just want you to describe one word of food to have such a big panel here. Any word which comes to your mind when you look at such a big panel here and such a rich panel here? Excess. Excess, okay. Sorry? Wholesome. Did you mean it? Okay, right, wholesome. Food have you ever described your wife's food as it's very comprehensive today? Okay, right, comprehensive. Any other food item का नाम बताओ यार? थाली. ठीक है. आप decide करो इसमें dessert कौन है, soup कौन है? छप्पन भोग. Nice. We have sweets on the floor. We have sweets वाले भी हैं यहाँ पे. और क्या? Satiety. Okay. समझाएं इसका क्या मतलब हुआ? Sense of fullness. ठीक है. Thank you. Yeah, satiety. Sense of fullness. Any other word? Belpuri. Biryani. Okay. हाँ, तंगड़ियाँ तो बहुत सारी हैं, है ना? So I think we're going to talk about food, and we've got some 45 minutes, 32 minutes, as they says that it always goes down. Yeah, thank you. So we thought we'll keep it short. This itself is the biggest innovation to have so many people on the floor. If your panel doesn't mind, I'm going to stand here and talk, so the entire focus is on you. And you can at times drop this and upset the stuff as well. So I think this is a country where food thrives. All of us know that. And you know the biggest food innovation memory which comes, I don't know how far. So how many from Gujarat here? How many from Surat? Or have you been to Surat? How many of you been to Surat? Okay. I've heard that there was a dish of dhokla which went wrong. And it is now called locha. How many of you heard that? Yeah, all of you heard that. You know, there's a dish in Dhokla, or a dish in Surat, which is called locha. And it was the way it was described to me, saying it was a dhokla which went wrong. The steaming did not go right, and it remained a little fluffy. And then someone said, locha thai gayu. So that's how the dish is served as locha. It's a wonderful dish. I've had the fortune of having it. So those who pass by Surat, Ahmedabad do have it. But right now we're going to stay focused here. And as they say in advance, bhul chuk ma, because so many of you, I may not be able to place you when I call out the name. So do kind of help me understand. We thought we kind of had a quick chat in the green room. We said we'll try and do two things. One, we'll do some bit of gossip on food, right? And so I've asked each of the panelists to bring one gossip item of food here. कुछ भी है बता देंगे ना, कल का खाना अच्छा नहीं था, I did not like this dish which was made, my office doesn't have good coffee, or whatever. One gossip on food, which is what I've asked them to do, and I've got some questions for them. We'll keep it short, and I don't think we'll have time for any audience question, but if we do manage, why not? Yeah. So let me start with a question to Nemisha, you, right? And this question I'm going to ask two of you, Nemisha and Puneet, you. I think there was a time when we would possibly say, this is my store, this is my outlet, whatever comes there, I'm going to be happy with it, and I'll make adjustments to it. But now is the time when the whole world has opened up. There are many more options. Do you think the time has come when I say that, let's say in his store, I don't get what I want. I don't get my organic stuff. I don't get my healthy stuff. Will I make a change and say I don't want to go to that store anymore? Do you think the time has come? Because in startups, they use the word lifetime value, right? Yes. So is there a lifetime nourishment value which I'll expect from a supermarket? What are your views on that?
Yes. Thank you, Sadashiv. Good afternoon to everyone, and I think, one thing that I want to ask the entire group is, how many of us shop for our own houses ourselves? Please pick up your hands. So I can see around 40-50%. And I'd like to say to you, how many of you have been shopping at the same place that you have been in the last 1 year? Very few. I can see half of the earlier set. So this has been similar, in my work in more retail. I see that loyalty is becoming increasingly, very, very subjective and very, very low. And I think that, in order to retain, your own shoppers, which I think I would love to hear from Sarvodaya, and I'd love to hear from Chetan bhai. But, our study shows that you need to constantly evolve your assortment. And here is the thing that I want to even, speak further, taking a leaf from the locha example that Sadashiv gave, that it's important to innovate in the staples section much more, whether it be ghee, whether it be masalas, whether it be spices, whether it be fruits and vegetables. Do we have the same fruits and vegetables every, 12 months of the year? No. We go according to seasons. And I do think that we need to innovate, from an assortment point of view, sir. So I think, that's my bit. But then how do you do that? As a retailer, I've been on the other side of the coin also. And it's important to deliver that RGM. And I think the answer somewhere, lies in ensuring that we do sufficient pilots in a few stores in order to establish newer brands, in order to see, and ensure that the other brands also get a chance to showcase, what they bring to the table in terms of growth, in terms of stock turnover ratio. And I'm sure there's a lot more that the other people, have to communicate and share with us. So back to you, sir.
Sure. Anish, does this answer your question? What does she do? Okay.
Can I continue?
I'll catch up with you.
There's been a slip from you, Anish. You forgot to call Mr. S.D. Venkat Raman from Nourish You for Superfood. So please, may I have you on stage, sir? And a round of applause for him. And can I request for you to make a little more space that side? आपने supermarket वाले को पीछे में रख दिया, sir. आप आगे आइए, please. We've all grown on your supermarkets, so please.
Sadashiv ji,
हाँ जी.
can I continue with this
Yes,
answer?
yes, please, please. The next was for you only.
Yeah, the thing is, a little bit coming to the question. The question is whether our future industries or customers are looking for a healthy product in the retail stores or not. Or whether if they won't find that healthy thing which is coming up these days, whether they go to the shop or not go to the shop or buy the product. So what is happening, people are more focused on organic these days. So everybody is linking their product with the health. Most of the products with the health, that our thing is coming with these health benefits. So a customer is getting more intelligent and conscious about their health. So in 10 years down the line, people will actually not go to those stores which are not selling the healthy products and their platter, because they want to go for, they have limited time and they want to go and buy a product for that time and all the quality products that person is looking at. Secondly, to be honest at the moment, as a farmer, I see people are making, just for the knowledge thing, people are not giving organic product at the moment. I always say it's near organic, near healthy, because one person is doing organic and another person is not doing organic. So we can put it sustainable or near organic things at the moment. So you have to actually, and anybody who's looking for a healthy product should actually look for the organic side or the sustainability side of it. Secondly, I want to add a little bit to this thing, because it's a new innovative idea forum where people are looking at what new things we can do at the moment. So in the food, we have a lot of wastages in processing. Say about we do green peas, frozen green peas. So 33% we put it inside the stores and 66% we waste it. So we have to do we have to generate value from those wastages. So we can extract protein out of it at the moment, and that protein is used for further these beyond meat products which we are using, which is about 10,000 rupees a kilo product, which can be generated from these pea pod waste. So there are multiple things, from seed and skin of these tomatoes. We are manufacturing polythene. So we have given multiple products to the universities to get the products out of it. So we are in a way to commercialize those products in the market, coming soon with the research and development teams to get value out of it and then further supply it to pet market, because wastage can go further into pet food. So pet food is coming big in the country or in the world. So with the green products, green food, it will become more popular and the wastage is basically utilized, and our food will come to us and the wastage will go to the pets. In that way, we will be securing our food for next generations coming in the thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I think, a round of applause is due, please. So it'll also help us energy for the afternoon. So I think if both of you heard, if all of you heard both of them, I think essentially the verdict is it'll matter what you sell, right? And it's very different from the generation of retail I come from. I'm a very old generation retailer, and there are veterans like Damodar around. I don't know whether he's around in the room. But I think those were the days when we would say, ये दो brand नहीं है तो कोई बात नहीं, customer तो आ जाएगा हमारे पास. But now what we are hearing is that no, if you don't get what you want, maybe pet food, maybe waste certified food that you have less waste, I may choose and go to another store. So I think that's what I'm hearing from you. Thanks for that. I'm going to come back to another question. Innovation is nice. I think all of us go and pick up small items from the supermarket shelf, but we then go and say, I want this flavor, but can I get another pack size? I want this brand, but I want another flavor. And frankly, it's great for the customer, but can be a nightmare for the retailer, because then you have to manage an entire supply chain, a long tail of SKUs, etc., etc. So my question is to two of you, Ankur, Ankur sir, and Rahul. How do you see this? Because, and I'm deliberately picked on two of you. One who possibly faces the brunt of बहुत सारे SKU हैं, कहाँ working capital manage करेंगे, and the other possibly from your side saying, no, I want all my SKUs on the shelf. How do you manage this balance? कि innovation अच्छा है, but क्या retail के लिए अच्छा है, working capital के लिए अच्छा है? Any points there?
Yeah, I think it's a very, very fair point, and it not only applies to a newer brand, it also applies to variants of a bigger brand. It happens with all the companies also. I think it is very much important that the brand does the proper consumer study to be able to identify which are the first top 2-3 things which has to be prioritized, and basis that only approach on the flavors or the products. That's one. And second thing which we have seen is that if the products are being given in a manner that they are nicely stackable inside modern trade shelf.
Sure.
What we have seen over the last few years, I think maybe more than 10 years, is that the height of the shelf has changed. The depth of shelf has changed. And earlier it used to be a lot of depth inside the store, be it GT or MT also. Now it's not the case. So if there are stackable solutions where variants could be kept properly, it could be displayed, it'll help not only a newer brand, but also a smaller brand within a particular bigger company. But on the part of working capital, I think I will say that retailer working capital isn't getting blocked as much as the money of supplier, because the margins and trade terms have become imbalanced, I think, I would say in that sense.
Typically the response is बाहर आ जाओ देखते हैं. But I'll see what Ankur ji has to say.
Yeah. बात सही है कि SKU ज़्यादा रखने चाहिए. फिर भी ये आपने बताया कि मॉनिटरिंग करने चाहिए कि भाई क्या क्या आइटम्स होनी चाहिए, वो एनालिसिस करके ही अपने को पता चलता है. कस्टमर्स तो डिमांड करते हैं बराबर, और रखने भी चाहिए हमारे पास. तो वही चीज़ है कि भाई एनालिसिस के हिसाब से रखने चाहिए.
अच्छा, ठीक है. So, but just to say that, I think उन्होंने अच्छा पॉइंट बताया कि डेटा देखो और फिक्सचर्स पे थोड़ा इनोवेशन करो. बट टू यू राहुल, अगर कल अंकुर जी कहते हैं कि नहीं मैं आपके 4 वेरिएंट में 2 नहीं रख पाऊंगा, आपके चेहरे पे खुशी होगी या दुख?
नहीं, I think that stage is gone. जब सारे फ्लेवर्स चाहिए होते थे, I think now people want at least the top 2-3 main flavors of the consumers are there,
आपने
because
काफी सारे ब्रांड्स का दिल तोड़ दिया अभी, but doesn't matter.
but they are facing the reality. They all know the box size is similar, and what the brand has to do is to ensure offtake, because their confidence will come only when the product flies. Otherwise,
Sure.
we all are very good orators when we come to sell our products.
Sure, right. Thanks Ankur ji. And time बचता तो वापस आएंगे. I think the third one which I want to talk on this whole concept of anti-ness. You know, there are people who come back. How many of you say I'm anti-wheat, I'm anti-starch, I'm anti-sugar? Anti-sugar? How many anti-sugars here? बाकी सब लोग नहीं उठाएंगे क्योंकि लोग बोलेंगे अच्छा डायबिटिक वाले ही हैं. ठीक है. But yeah, so the whole point is there's so many antis going around, and मुझे लगता है at least हम लोग जो एक दौर से गुजरे थे where we used to say the total addressable market is the whole country, everyone will have all the foods, but now with this antis I think market का potential घटते जा रहा है. So मुझे मेरा सवाल है दो लोगों के लिए. एक Anish, hi, because you are trying to do some change there and trying to find your own place there, and Mohit, how would you kind of counter this thing? Because there is definitely a movement where by the time ऐसे मैं sweets में जाऊँगा तो कोई कहता है कि नहीं anti sugar चाहिए, market छोटा होता जा रहा है, potential markets. How do you see that? How do you expand it in your own mind and in your own space? Mike, please.
My quick take on that is I think you build products for today, but you build brands for tomorrow. And very clearly, I think India is at that cusp right now, where by and large, urban and semi-urban populations are possibly not making decisions on the basis of how healthy, unhealthy the product is, or what is the quality of ingredients that is necessarily going into it. But I see this changing over the next decade for sure, right? So as a brand which has possibly taken a stance and said that we are going to possibly make sure that we use highest quality ingredients, we work on the PFCF content that goes into the products that we develop, we are fully aware that at this point in time, what we need to deliver is basically on affordability, taste, and variety, right? However, as a brand that is future ready, we are also making sure that from a very early and a nascent stage, we are making sure that the consumer sees us in the right light.
Sure.
So
But I
the
want to
whole-
push you, Anish. Why do when you say something like say अगले decade में हो जाएगा? Why don't you say कल से हो जाएगा ये? Why are you kind of saying that this will come, but after one? I know your investors are not sitting here, but I just want to know why would you say that कि अगले 10 साल में हो जाएगा?
No, no. So more importantly, I think consumers are sitting here and
Okay,
need to say the
that's
right
nice.
things. So I think it's kind of linked to a bunch of things,
Sure.
right? It's linked to our economic growth. It's linked to our disposable income. It is linked to what we are valuing as a culture at this particular point in time, right? And now, for example, maybe a decade back, nobody really thought that the diabetes-friendly market would become as large as it is today,
Sure.
right? I think with increasing urbanization, with the onset of diabetes at scale, today, if you can give any of these anti-products to a diabetic patient, they will lap onto it. So those are the 5-year-long or decade-long changes that I'm talking about. And let's say if you travel to not too far, but Southeast Asia itself, right? You very clearly see that today the beverage shelf is dominated by sugar-free drinks for sure. And on economic parameters, if I look at it, if I trace back, they're possibly just about that half a decade or decade ahead of us.
Sure.
So hence, I anticipate that these trends are likely to play out. But as I said, right now, what's very important is that we cater to the consumer with products that they're looking for today. And today, very clearly, they're deciding on the basis of affordability, variety, and taste.
Sure. Thanks. And I love the pushback saying consumers are here. So that's very, I exactly agree with that
Always.
sentiment of, yeah. So,
So I mean, how I look at this, it's different from what he says. So there's lack of awareness amongst the consumers
Sure.
about the healthy products. So nowadays, consumers starts linking healthy products with the price tag on the product. So if it is healthy, तो महंगा होगा. अगर वो सस्ता है तो healthy नहीं होगा.
Sure.
So this has become a big problem for brands who are trying to push in healthy products, and somewhere they're failing to do that because consumer perception is कि ये product महंगा है without even seeing the price.
Sure.
So at the same time, I feel that the entire ecosystem has to work together to push in these kinds of products, right? From MT, GT, distributors, stockists, and everyone needs to work in together to push these products in the market. Though I feel that in the coming decade, he's absolutely right that we can see that shift in the next decade. But what I can see today is that you cannot force people to directly quit sugar or quit oil or quit junk food. It cannot happen overnight. I mean, like you cannot ask farmers to, stop using chemical fertilizers and switch to organic inputs.
Sure.
So it's a similar thing with consumers. So you need to push the products in the right way. First, try removing preservatives, additives, other, other things which you add in the product, and then gradually you can pull out the sugar from it, pull out oils from it, and add more health beneficial products.
Sure. No, thanks. While both of you didn't specifically mention that, but I'm assuming the answer, therefore, it doesn't make you lose your sleep. That the market is becoming anti. It doesn't make you lose your sleep. You find your own space to kind of get your brands going in. I think that's what I'm really seeing. A quick poll for people. How many of you feel that if the price of a product is expensive, it's likely to be healthy? I thought you heard. Okay. Yeah, so there are enough number of people there. Good. So you're saying if there are two biscuits, one is 10, one is 25, similar looking, I might be attributing more health, and possibly you're saying that's possibly may not be the right thing, but that's how people are perceiving things today.
But just as a quick afterthought, Sadashiv, not an afterthought, actually deep inside, you cannot be selling these so-called anti-products or the relatively healthy products at price points which are going to be unreasonably exorbitant as compared to a normal average product, right? And that's something that as a brand we've learned as well. And hence we typically operate at the 5 rupee, 10 rupee, 20 rupee price points that, you know, the consumer associates with a impulse-led indulgent brand. Affordability and, you know, potentially affordability gets you trials. The way I look at it, very clearly taste gets you repeats, but a better for you value proposition gives you longer term retention. Those are the three aspects possible.
Sure. Thanks very much for that afterthought. The next one is really on marketplaces. And I think what we were discussing internally with the words were nurture and noise. So marketplaces, including some of the supermarkets who sit here, maybe a lot of noise, doesn't matter, some hustle bustle, ek brand niche girta, doesn't matter, the other one will sell. And nurture is really the D2C angle to say, I've got my brand, I'm going to talk to my customer, there'll be no noise in between. So I'm really going to ask this question to two of you, one Robin, and sir, the youngest person on the dais today, Gopalkrishnan sir. What do you think of this? I mean, should D2C, is it the way to stay? That I'm sure you're going to say yes. And to him, I'm going to ask saying, are you worried therefore? No? And luckily you're standing next to each other. ये आपने बहुत अच्छा काम कर दिया.
Yeah. See, the retail shop, as long as you make the customer feel at home, is going to be there. With the modern changes happening, even the retail stores have to promote products which the new generation requires. So it's not that online is taking away everything. When you make the customer feel at home and you give a quality product, price is a matter today, but it's for a few. But if you want to make money, then it's a different case. If you want to earn money, stick to quality.
But sir, and since he's sitting, Robin is standing right next to you. Do you have Valley culture in supermarket?
Not yet.
Not yet. So suppose he doesn't keep, then what do you do now? Should you say, I'll try to keep, I'm just using him as a reference, but there are many more retailers here. Will you keep convincing them, or will say, no, I don't want to wait, I want to speak to my customer directly? थोड़ा झगड़ा करा रहा हूँ मैं.
I mean, I think that's one of the biggest differentiator, and like sir also
Can you
said,
get the mic a little closer?
Sure.
Yeah.
Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. I think, just as sir ne bhi kaha, the most important thing is the experience to the consumer. And for a brand like us, it's the control. Control over the experience, control over the product, control over the data that we all share nowadays. So that really, I think, is something that we focus on, so that we can give the absolute experience from our own website to the consumer. And once maybe we've perfected that, then we move on to give the similar experience of our brand onto the stores as well. So I think that's...
So you're gently saying he will not give you control of your brand. Very gently you're saying that.
I mean, we do have to, kind of, in the terms and conditions of other marketplaces, we have to agree to these.
Yeah.
But as long as we are on our own website, we have total control of
Absolutely.
our brand and its experience.
Yeah. No, in the spirit of this talk today, we're not trying to say who's better, who's higher. But I think we're bringing up an issue. You have a brand which you want to get, maybe the supermarket or a marketplace, even an e-com marketplace may not have that right place for you. So how do you do it? I think we're bringing issues here. We're not trying to say who wins, who doesn't, but my role is to be a little provocative there. Thanks for that. I've just been to a place called Manipal, if you heard, and I was quite surprised to see there was one Popeye, it said chicken from Louisiana, if I'm pronouncing it right, and there was another set of buffet where they were serving hardcore local food, some gujju and some stuff. And for me, the whole idea was, in the same place, it's Manipal, distant from Udupi and Mangalore, and I could see two different influences happening there, mainly because it's a hostile town. So my question really is to two of you, Chetan bhai and Shalu. How do you kind of see this, I'm calling it global to gaon. I mean, how do you see this transition? How do you keep the global and the gaon? Dono saath mein kaise ho sakta hai? How do you manage this balance well? So please, how do you manage these two things properly?
बहुत इजी है सर.
हाँ जी सर.
अब ये गांव या लोकल या शहर ऐसा रहा है क्या? It is like everything is present everywhere. You cannot say that This will sell only in Gaon and this will sell only in local. Because दोनों को exposure उतना ही है. Say talking about millets, if today millets is international, is being propagated so well on social media, on Instagram continuously, then you cannot say that only the people in the town will have millets more. People, only the variations will come more. So millet will not be millet, millet rava is available, millet poha is available, millet kurmura is available, millet dosa is available. So we can have both the things at both the places the same thing, no problem.
Okay, so you see there's no longer any distinction of a
No
market,
distinction, no distinction.
small town, large town, maybe rural markets alag hoenge?
No.
No? Okay, wonderful.
Even अभी मैकन्स अब समझते कि रूरल में नहीं चलता है.
हाँ.
मैं ऐसे ऐसे गांव का नाम दूंगा, वहाँ उसका सेल सबसे अच्छा है.
क्या बोल रहे हैं? एक गांव का नाम दीजिए.
लासल गांव.
Okay, super. ठीक है. Shallow.
I think distribution plays a very important role in that. क्योंकि जो हम लोकल की बात कर रहे हैं, अभी हम थोड़ी देर पहले कचौड़ी का डिस्कशन कर रहे थे फ्रॉम जयपुर. तो मुझे लगता है कि स्विगी हो गया या फिर कोई भी ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म है या हम लाइक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन लाइक अस, तो मुझे लगता है कि हम बहुत इजीली रिटेलर्स तक वो सारी चीज़ें पहुंचा रहे हैं. और मुझे लगता है कंज्यूमर भी बहुत इनोवेशन कर रहा है चीज़ों के लिए. दे अप्रिशिएट. और मुझे लगता है कि वो मोटिवेशनल भी है कि हम लोकल को बहुत ज़्यादा प्रमोट कर रहे हैं और वो ऑथेंटिक भी है और मुझे लगता है बहुत इंडियननेस है उसके अंदर. तो थिंग्स आर कमिंग टू अ रिटेलर एंड इट इज़ कमिंग टू अ कंज्यूमर ऑल्सो.
So that's a big point about logistics and supply chain you're saying, making availability. अगर लसलगांव में अगर जाना है, then how do you kind of reach the goods? Thanks very much.
Many more. Satana, Shirpur, Dhulia, small towns, even Vapi.
Well, it gives almost a nervous feeling to me, but I think it's so positive to see things just spreading across. No? Thank you very much. Huh? The next question is to you, Sonia, and Prachi. I think, and you indulge yourself in recipes and more specialized food, and you are the supermarket wali here. So how do you kind of, to me, you know, food is always an orchestra, right? I mean, you may have ingredients, you may have recipes, but uske bartan, I know people who say biryani to sirf raw time mein banega, slow juicer chahiye. Now, frankly, I think that's still not available widely. While I like his optimism कि गाँव-गाँव तक पहुँचा है, but ये बर्तन, चम्मच, cutlery पहुँचा है कि नहीं? I don't know. I want to know what your view is. कि how do you build a paraphernalia around it? अगर मुझे केक पे dressing करना है, do I have everything available in every small town? You're the retailer and you are the representative brand. What do you think about that?
Sure. Thanks for the question. See, I think especially in the trade format, which is modern trade, in the real estate, right, where we more are generalists than specialists, right? We choose to play either in the center of the plate or the side of the plate. There are players who would want to keep an assortment, ensuring that I cover the entire center of the plate. And then there are players who choose to play in the entire periphery of side of the plate. For example, culinary, right? Which is a very, very different proposition than having the variety of rice in my store.
But we are talking the plate itself in this case.
Yes,
and
exactly.
the katori and the plate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then when I say generalist and specialist, right?
Yeah.
There is a Reliance Digital and then there is a Jio, right? So we all play, especially in the, as I said, in the modern trade format where real estate is always limitation, we all choose to be generalist, specialist, play on the side or the center of the plate. The other point which we look at data very uniquely is that the bundling or the curation, because every chef has its own kitchen and way of making their food. For example, mixer grinder. If you bring new technology of mixer grinder today, not every chef is going to change their mixer grinder, right? It takes its own time looking from ingredient and the products, right? How fast you want to try them and experience them. That's where the e-commerce roles comes in, right? And it works well for brands and for consumers because they are very experimental in nature. So e-commerce is actually one channel which is solving for those consumers who are very experimental in
But
nature.
is the hypermarket a channel as well? You're looking at all formats except, let's say, the
Yes.
format you represent.
Yes. So I think we we are trying to solve it,
Sure.
right? But we are certainly not there yet.
Sure.
But as I said, there is not enough data as well to
Sure.
prove that consumer actually wants everything under one roof. Right?
No, I appreciate
Yeah.
your candid answer. I think you're saying I want to do it, but maybe I'm not fully geared up to do it,
Yes,
which
yeah.
is fine. How about you?
Yeah, hi. I totally agree with Sonia about a specific distinguish between supermarkets as well as the e-commerce. E-commerce is playing a big role in terms of educating the people and spreading the knowledge about what kind of ingredients I need, what kind of
Not
utensils.
Sarvodaya supermarket.
No, that too. Yeah, that will come too, of course.
Okay, right.
What kind of utensils I need, what kind of tools I need.
Sure.
But the last mile delivery is still a challenge for those people. And with the supermarkets, they are more in terms of conventional, but the understanding of the consumer they are catering to is still limited. So I would say both needs to go in a
Sure,
hand in hand.
sure,
And
sure.
I think that's where the brands like us are coming into play, because we are educating people, and
Sure.
as well as we are trying to reduce the time, provide the healthy ingredients, and provide all sorts of urban as well as rural things together. So we are kind of blending it all in one.
Sure. Thanks.
Yeah.
Just to add on, right, as we have actually seen that e-commerce and now quick commerce is the bellwether for all the new brands. Because experimentation is easy.
Yeah.
For any new brand, and we have a lot of us here, to come in the modern trade, the cost of being present in the shelf itself will not work, and we don't even know that consumer is going to like it or not. So I think the balance of
But
e-com
that's exactly why
consumerism
we're
has
here.
been
We're talking
maintained.
innovation. And innovation में कहीं तो अपना मुंडी बाहर डालना पड़ेगा to try. So you are saying something, sir.
So we are forgetting that other than supermarkets and hypermarkets, there are people selling utensils, people
Yep,
selling footwear,
absolutely.
standalone stores, and they are also evolving.
Correct.
I don't. If you think that this is not available, I don't agree. That guy has already brought the cake maker. That one already brought the infusion maker. Everything is there.
Good. So I think it's a healthy part. But I hear you that e-commerce possibly has an advantage. But I'm glad he came in and said there are other stores. May not be here on the stage right now, but there are other stores. I'll move on because this timer is a little scary, Anish. Sorry, I know. Does it mean the stage will collapse? Has been my question right from the beginning. Yes. I'm really going to talk on next on, and I'm going to pick on you, Nikunj and Rahul. Rahul is the person who's promised kachoris and ghevar for everyone. So just watch out for it. Don't let him go without, don't spare him. We are not going to spare you. So I think the question is, I think it's a little of the anti part, but I think the whole part of denying stuff, right? I think we keep hearing and saying कि मेरे को काजू कतली में छोटा सा पोर्शन देना है, मुझे पूरा नहीं खाना है, मुझे ये चाहिए था लेकिन उसमें ना कोई क्या गुड़ वाली है क्या? So complexity बड़ा है, and really picking on both of you because इनके jams खाते खाते हम बड़े हुए हैं, आपकी मिठाई खाते खाते हम अच्छे हुए हैं. So how do you see this? Is it the market is going to go slowly go away?
No, sir. Of course, as you said, oppositions are there, few, but they are just the corridor talks. Recently, ATNI index, where ITC has topped, I would like to congratulate Sanjay Singhal ji also, where they have scored good. So there are big giants also, they are doing good business. So I can say that these are just corridor talks amongst corridor only. Second, I think these denials or these opposition, I take it as a guiding principle to be transparent with my customer by giving information on my label, or I can say that we are making it, we are doing excitement to this category, just like you have all people, you have Kaju Katli bar on your tables. It's a chocolate coated Kaju Katli ka, a traditional product, but with a fusion for new India, new packaging this way. And third, we are trying to make it feel more look and good. So second thing, you are talking about the small portion size. Yes, portion has reduced, but the per capita consumption and the penetration has increased because we have seen the incremental sales in our retail stores, our DMB retail stores, online stores, with modern trade, with general trade everywhere. And so, of course, but portion size decreased because any customer or any consumer have a limited stomach size. मान लो पेट में आधा किलो आ जाता हो या 400 ग्राम आ जाता हो, इतना तो वो खाता है. तो अब the reason behind reducing the portion size is because of the range and the variety which are available nowadays. Like अगर मैं मिठाई वाला हूँ तो मैं मिठाइयों की 56 भोग लगा दिए मैंने, तो 56 भोग आइसक्रीम के लगने लग गए, तो 56 भोग तो वाइड रेंज होने लग गई है. सेकंड, नाउ देयर इज इरेडिकेशन ऑफ जोग्राफिकल बैरियर. नाउ कोई भी बंदा जो बेंगलोर में बैठा है, ही कैन हैव DMB घेवर, और कोई अगर राजस्थान में बैठा है वो बेंगलोर का मैसूर पाक खा सकता है. एंड सर विथ टेक्नोलॉजी, नाउ द टेक्नोलॉजी हैज़ कम अप. हमारे पास पहले के ज़माने में टेक्नोलॉजी और एजुकेशन का वो बड़ा अभाव रहता था, बट नाउ देयर इज एक्सटेंडेड शेल्फ लाइफ ऑफ प्रोडक्ट ऑल्सो. एंड सर देयर आई कैन एंड आई टेक दिस पार्ट अपोजिशन एज अ लाइक हाफ बोतल एम्प्टी और हाफ बॉटल फिल. तो मेरे को तो धंधा ही धंधा नज़र आता है उस एम्प्टीनेस के अंदर, क्योंकि येट हमारी जो कैटेगरी है, फूड मिठाई कैटेगरी है, वो अभी सिर्फ 10% ही ऑर्गेनाइज्ड हुई है. 90% तो अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड है. तो क्यों ना अपन सब मिलकर धंधा करें इसके अंदर. एंड सर आई थिंक अगेन दिस मिठाई और काजू कतली यू सेड, this will be the another national product in our India.
Sure, thank you. जब मिठाई वाला बॉटल की बात करता है, प्रेज्यूम वो लस्सी और छाछ के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं.
सर मैं सब कुछ भूल गया.
Okay, ठीक है. But I'm picking a lot of points from you, saying one, be responsible, declare, be happy about a small portion, there'll be many more occasions, and have more pack innovation to do it.
Yes.
Hanji.
So, I have a little different belief on that. From becoming a premium product or a staple, it will become an indulgence product. People will consume less. But the segment of market which will consume less is the current segment which is buying it. There's a bigger segment which is below it. The pyramid's much bigger. You need to make it more affordable and market it better to them.
Sure.
And that's all we are lacking on. The market is ever growing. We are in India. We have a few 100 million more people to sell to.
Sure. Thank you. So, Anish came and said that though the timer is up, the stage is not going to collapse. So we've been given a little more time. I'm going to pick up, and of course we missed Sanjay here from ITC, but I'm really going to pick on Kartik and SD from you, Naresh. I think the evolution of retail, I mean that's whatever limited times I've gone abroad, you see people picking up their breakfast and a muesli and a coffee, and that really defines the day from a supermarket. Cafe se to uthate hi hain, but they also go into a supermarket and pick up their breakfast items in here there. To me, and I may be wrong here, that is a part of an evolution of a market saying it's become part of my breakfast regime as well on the go. But I don't see that happening as much here. I wanted to know, how are you seeing it from your space? I know you may not directly represent this question, but as food leaders, how would you see the space of innovation?
Yeah. I have one question to the audience here. How many of you think that in next 10 years, most of us in normal circumstances will live for 10 years, will change their breakfast habit? How many of you? Okay. So, refined
you had an
question.
answer for both, no?
Refined question. Though out of 200 odd people, it is only 6 or 7 people. And in Nielsen, it is being proven that this sample size is good enough. So my answer is no. India will remain the way India is. As long as India has a taste in it, India has a freshness in it. Okay. This breakfast habit of going on a supermarket, picking up anything which is packed for 6 months and all is not going to work. That's for snacking. India has a 2 differentiator in it. One is snacking and one is breakfast. So when you come on a breakfast, when you come on a meal has to be fresh. Okay. Yes, there are many companies and there are good companies who are working on it to see that how they can technically work on replacing a cook at home and get something which gives as fresh as feeling the cook gives you. But I honestly doubt that there is something going to change, and the answer is being given by each one of us here.
Separately, Ankur ji and Chetan ji will come back with an answer for you, not immediately, but aayenge zarur. But I remember picking up some fresh food from his store as well. Over to you.
Hi. Well, my experience has been slightly different, all right, when it comes to especially the cereals, the breakfast cereals which we spoke about. I think the market is really evolving big, right? If I just look at 5 years before, the way the market was, and the next 5 years, I think there are a couple of companies which has come in. We just heard about smaller companies. Now the bigger companies like ITC, Dabur, name them, I think they are now. So I think, yeah, this market is going to evolve big, for sure. The number speaks of its own. I think I would not like to name them, the companies per se. I think the moment we look at numbers, they're just speaking about multiple growth year on year, right? And that's one of the reasons why a lot of companies are now coming in, acquiring the smaller companies, right? For me, yeah, this category is going to evolve big.
Sure, fine. So we have two differing views and we can hold on to that. Three more people, three more leaders to ask question. The two Vinods here on the dais. I think we always seen the grandmothers and the local Maharaj being the ultimate authority on food, right? But now, do you see things change? And I think some of you represent that business. Do you see food influencers, homemakers, good cooks who are actually going to change choices on brands, choices on foods, cloud kitchens? Are they going to make a difference there? And really a question to both of you.
Actually, food for everybody is a very sensitive topic. So it has to be a very honest brand influencer, whoever does it, okay? But it definitely in India or globally, it influences almost every homemaker, what ingredients to buy, what food to buy from Cloud Kitchen. And today in social media world, we are seeing every day new brands happening, okay? And there are new brand ambassadors who are influencing every part of our eating habits, okay?
Sure. That was Vinod from Sanjeev Kapoor brand, but you're saying it is changing. It is changing, right? Over to you, Vinod. What do you feel? I know you represent the back end of the business, but do you see food influencers making a choice? Will they go for SNN spices just because?
Yes, exactly. SNN spices, food influencers बोले तो लोग लेने जमाना भी आ गया है.
आ गया है.
Food influencers का जो एक रेसिपी देखा ना शाम को cooking हो जाएगा हर घर में.
Correct.
वो taste is good or bad, nothing matters for them, but they will go for trial.
They'll go for trial. And these food influencers, big influencers, small influencers, कैसे हैं?
No, big, small नहीं sir.
Doesn't matter.
No, doesn't matter. जो बना के दिखाने वाला वो सही तरीके से बना के दिखाना है.
Sure. So then maybe
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Maybe we end this. So you're basically saying we don't need to sign Shah Rukh Khan, Salman Khan for. So, be honest. The last question really is to. I'm not able to see him. Oh, you're here. Please come. I'm so sorry. I'm very sorry about it. Sudeep ji from Goldie Foods. I'm so sorry. I mean,
I'm actually glad I could sit all the time.
No. My miss entirely. I'm going to take my 5 minutes. No. Sudeep ji, he said you don't need to sign Salman Khan and Shah Rukh Khan. So my question to you really, how do you plan a go-to market for a new variety or a new variant?
So I'm in Bombay. I think we definitely need to sign. If I was in Kanpur, the answer could have been different. But in terms of going to marketplace and innovating, I think post-COVID, and I've heard the entire panel here, convenience and health has become extremely important. So innovation is external and internal, and I can say we have been able to do a lot of innovation in terms of how we are producing the product. The consumer is very much aware today that it's not only externally how it is packaged, how does it look, but how is it actually manufactured, and consumer likes to research and know about it. And that's where we have been able to inculcate an absolutely state-of-the-art plant with cryogenic grinding at minus 30 degrees in Kanpur. So I think that today that is part one. And then second, how are you able to present to the consumer in different pack sizes? For example, we made Goldie 1-1 noodles in rice bran oil, and that's probably one of the few brands in the country which is making in rice bran oil. So I think innovation is, for us, is convenience, health, and giving it to the right price. And the last part of the question, how do we cater to the entire format, general trade, modern trade, HoReCa? I think that is definitely where Salman Khan plays a role to convince across channels, and then the ground team which goes and convince them on the quality of the product at the right price to them.
The tiger's zinda hai.
Tigers, thank you.
Okay, on that note, and thanks Anish for the extra time, we are going to conclude. I'm not going to summarize the session because this lady came and said, if you don't stop, I'm going to pull your mic away. So I'm just not going to, I'm just going to end this. Give a big round of applause to the folks here. I'm sure you picked up small nuggets. Thanks a lot. Wonderful team. Thank you very much.